The oldest known map of the underworld was found in an ancient Egyptian coffin. Now, two videos before this one, you'll find a very interesting piece of news which turns the ancient Egyptian history on its head. Ground penetrating radar from satellites details the undiscovered underground city, a huge labyrinthine city under the Giza pyramid and the plateau of Giza. So this proves what the ancient Greeks were saying, that there's a very ancient, luxurious city, many floors deep, under the Giza plateau, and the scientists have found it. It's 650 yards down. It's got 8 shafts going down into 2 huge 80-meter blocks, and under that is 650 yards of flooring space. And this is astounding. Who put it there? It wasn't the ancient pharaohs, obviously. Now, I do have a playlist of the Emerald Tablets where Thoth Hermes Trismegistus talks about crediting himself. He was an Atlantean, and he credits himself with building the Giza Plateau. He even says in there that he has buried one of his spacecraft under a sphinx in one of these pyramids complexes in Egypt. And I do also have a playlist of the Epic of Gilgamesh, where Gilgamesh talks about going to the underworld. So what is this about this map of the underworld found in the ancient Egyptian coffin? Back in 2012, archaeologists broke open a funerary shaft in the middle of the Egyptian necropolis of Deir al-Barsha. While much of its contents had been looted or destroyed by fungi, they discovered that one of the coffins contained a text they call the Book of Two Ways, a mysterious illustrated guide to the underworld. And according to the Journal of Egyptian Archaeology, a new study examining this text suggests that it could also be the oldest known copy of the Book of Two Ways. The replica dates back to at least 4,000 years. Researchers know that this is because the tomb contains inscriptions that mention Dehutinaka I, an ancient prefect from the 21st to the 20th centuries BC. Although it was previously thought that the coffin contained the body of Jehutinatak I, this study highlights that it actually belonged to an unknown woman of the then elite named Anke. The tomb appears to have been repeatedly visited by impatient grave robbers who scattered much of the contents throughout the chamber and removed some of the valuables. However, archaeologists were able to recover 2 wooden frames with a few lines of hieroglyphic text, and remarkably, these frames of text, the fragments of text, contained small sections of the Book of Two Ways. A handful of versions of the book have been discovered by researchers in the past, but this edition is believed to be the oldest examples found so far. Copies of the archaic text have also been found on tomb walls, on papyri, on mummy masks, and in other coffins. The name of the text refers to the 2 routes through which the dead can navigate the underworld, seek protection from supernatural beings, and enter the realm of Osiris, the Egyptian god of the underworld and judge of the dead. And the book is part of the larger work called the Coffin Texts, which includes 1,185 spells, writings on reincarnation, and religious writings about the afterlife. The coffin texts are also on the bodies, one of the bodies of work that make up the Book of the Dead, the ancient Egyptian collection of relics consisting of spells relating to the afterlife. However, the texts, especially the Book of Two Ways, are not completely understood. There's also the risk of making cultural assumptions and misunderstandings about an ancient idea compared to our 21st century mindset and thinking. For example, just because the guide, quote unquote, looks like a modern roadmap does not mean that the ancient Egyptians necessarily used it as a map, as we would assume today, but it cannot be ruled out either. Regardless of its precious interpretation, the precise interpretation, the Book of Two Ways serves as another powerful reminder of how death and the afterlife have long played a significant role in people's cultural idiosyncrasies. Please leave your comments about this, and thank you for your support. Please support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box below.